Mark Kovac was 24 when he joined BP. For 33 years, he's been working on Alaska's North Slope, 18 of them on the pipelines. Kovac says BP pays him well, and yet he could be risking his job talking to us. BP's operation in Alaska, he warns, is a ticking time bomb.
I see a Gulf-like explosion. If the two large gas handling plants that we have, CCP or CGF, go up, in the worst case scenario, it'll be worse than what you saw on the platform. More people will die.
He says it's inevitable because BP in Alaska already has a history of spills, fires, explosions. Workers injured and killed on the slope, he says, because BP cuts corners on safety to save money. BP's mantra, according to Kovac and others, is, quote, run equipment to failure. BP says it does no such thing, never has.
If it falls apart or it breaks, if they don't need it, they won't replace it. If they do need it, they will replace it. But they're taking a huge risk. And it isn't those people that are making the decisions that's taking the risk, it's the workers in the field. We work next to this equipment when it fails. Those people sit behind their desks.
He's talking about management. 11 years ago, Kovac and dozens of other BP Alaska employees sent this letter to then CEO Lord John Brown. 2 workers had been killed on the slope, and the letter asks, when will the body count, capital destruction, and loss of production be enough to halt this dead-end course? Among Kovac's concerns, not enough workers, he says, to monitor too much pipeline for leaks and corrosion. When a pipeline gets heavily corroded, it can leak or even explode, putting employees' safety at risk. In 2006, it was an aging, corroded pipeline that burst. 200,000 barrels of oil spilled into Alaska's Prudhoe Bay. BP pled guilty to a misdemeanor count of violating the Clean Water Act. A federal judge put BP on probation for 3 years and fined it $20 million. Keeping them honest, we talked with Steve Reinhardt, a spokesman for BP Alaska, who told us their budget does not limit their safety program. He insists corrosion efforts have improved in recent years.
In the past few years, certainly since 2006, every element of our anti-corrosion program has advanced. We have taken the number of pipeline inspections from something in the neighborhood of 40,000 a year to about 90,000 this year.
Still, as recently as 2008, Kovac wrote this email to a BP manager, warning, "We are expecting a major failure again in Alaska. Next time, BP may not be so lucky." These 2008 pictures from Kovac show the risk he says BP employees face every day. The gas injection line snapped due to corrosion. In response, BP's Reinhardt says the pipe, quote, regrettably missed its inspection because it was covered in snow and then never made it on the to-do list. A former BP Alaska employee who did not want to be identified because he still works in the industry told me the oil giant had, quote, serious lapses in safety compliance in terms of corrosion. This employee said he was fired back in 1997 after refusing his supervisor's request to manipulate data and paint a better picture of the pipelines than really existed. BP wouldn't discuss the charge.
Any individual working on the North Slope has the right to raise his or her hand and say, stop the job, without retaliation. Safety is that important.
We contacted many BP workers in Alaska to discuss safety concerns with them. Most would not go on camera because they fear for their jobs. Mark Kovac says it's well known BP has a history for harassing and intimidating workers when they speak out. BP says that's just not true, and they set up an office to prevent that.
There is zero tolerance for retaliation of any sort.
Kovac also worries about safety because he says too many fire and gas protection warning systems, which would warn workers about a fire or explosion, are not in compliance.
Our systems were supposed to be updated 20 years ago, and BP's been piecemealing our systems back together, and some of our locations are not updated. Warning systems are not even functional.
They are old systems, and we are in the midst of a steady, step-by-step process to upgrade these.
Kovac remembers 3 years ago when incoming CEO Tony Hayward promised to make safety the soul of the company.
What he said was basically lip service. It's all show and no go.
Which is why he's sounding the alarm, What happened to BP in the Gulf, he is certain will happen again to BP in Alaska. Randy Kay, CNN, New York.